If somebody is ready to get it's been value, okay, awesome. I'm a mastermind, awesome. So if somebody is ready to go and you're ready to go, just let's take this energy, and let's pour into this is what we're doing. The starting point for wealth creation is right here, right now, in what you are doing. Okay, so you form the picture, and then you backtrack to today, and you begin to live in the reality of a certain way based on those thoughts. But we'll get there. We're going to do this chapter by chapter. So, sometimes you're very, let me go to the middle, let me go to the end. We'll take it slowly, we'll take it gradually. Tomorrow, we're going to share the next 4 chapters, chapter 5 to 8. We have, I believe, Dr. Fumi Aino and her crew are supposed to guide us in the process. If you are ready, fine. If you are not ready by then, no problem. I will always be available to do backup. Okay? Because this is a very important topic to me, very, very important to my heart. It's something I think that if we get correctly, our business, our people, our team, our friends, we will explode. We will explode. When I did this many years ago, it was the beginning of an exciting time in my business. And it hasn't left me. The thoughts haven't left me. The pattern hasn't left me. I've seen it feature. I've seen it, I've done tests and said, you know what, I want to create this in the next 40 days. Can I create this? And I've seen it in action. I've seen amazing things with it. And I think, and I think it will be amazing. Dr. Fumi, I hear you. We'll talk later. We'll chat about it. Okay, good. So questions? I can see somebody raising a hand. Let me unmute you so that you can ask your question. Please unmute, ask. You can show face as well. Yeah.
Oh, good afternoon, CM.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for this class.
Yes,
Under chapter one,
okay.
I got a phrase there, and I need you to please expatiate on it. Say the science of getting rich is infallible and is available to every person. So by choosing a creative rather than a competitive plan, an individual taps into the infinite potential of the universe. I need clarification on this creative rather than a competitive plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, very good question. Very good question. I think it's something we will get to more and more as we progress. But if I can just quickly explain it, what it means is this. So competition operates from the mindset of there is only one, and we have to compete to share it. That's a competitive mindset. There's only one, and we have to compete to share it. Creativity says, if there is only one, why can't we get 2? Why can't we have 10? Why is it that there's only one? Is it because there's only one we have found? Why do we have to compete for the one? Why don't we create another one? So the creative mindset says, there is abundance. There is enough for everyone. Okay? There's enough. It's not limited. There's a limitlessness in the availability of resources. Now, so I need to move into the creative plane to begin to see that the fact that somebody has bought land in GRA doesn't mean that the land has finished. The fact that somebody else is making progress doesn't mean I will not have. So people live in a place of, if he has deprived me. If they have, somebody's home is going to get better, somebody's home will spoil. The creative mind says, no, it can be better for all of us together. And that's the mindset that opens us up into wealth creation. So I hope that answers your question. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Any other questions? I hope that answers your question, ma'am.
Yes, I have a question. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, CM. Yeah, I think the first question that struck me was, I wonder if you could give us an example of somebody who accidentally did things the right way. Because I think that was the first thing you talked about, that if someone doesn't do things the right way, then you can't get rich. But there are people who do it maybe because they plan to do it, some accidentally. I'd like a bit more clarification on that, please.
Okay, great. So there, I've encountered people that are wealthy, and I know that they didn't read any book. They didn't hear any formula. They basically just followed something they saw somebody do. They didn't understand why it worked for that person. They just basically followed it. So there's this conversation I usually have with some people. I try to ask, so how did it start? How did it go to 1 billion? How did it get 10 billion? The person basically shares their own script and says, this is what I do. Mine is on the daily. I try to make sure that every day is better. I try to do it in this particular way. I try to see that everything is possible, if I can. So essentially what you see is, I think accidentally is people are able to, either by something that happens beyond them or not, they're able to find themselves in a space where they are regularly visualizing. I'll give you an example of somebody. So one of my mentors shared this with me. And he was trying to teach me a principle. And it's the same principle, in other words. He said to me, Diolu, when I was 9 years old, this is my mentor. He said, when I was 9 years old, I held my mother's hand and I took my mother outside. And I took a little piece of stick and I began to draw lines in the ground in front of the house. And I said to my mother, Mommy, when I grow up, I will build you a house. And he began to draw the plan of the house, 9 years old. And said the house would be like this. He drew a very big square. He said, this will be your room. Mommy, stay there. That will be your room. This will be the living room. This will be my room. This will be visitor's room. This will be guest room. This will be children's room. What was he doing? He had a thought. He impressed that thought. It wasn't only on the universe. He drew out the thought. And he said, when I grow up, I will build you a house. And at this time, they were poor, they were broke, they were living in the village, they were living outside Lagos. As in, things were rough. They didn't have enough, they didn't have shoes, couldn't dress well. They had a few challenges. But he said, this is what I would do. And he was saying, Diolu, that exact house, I built it. The way I planned it at 9, I made it happen. And he said to me, Diolu, whatever is going to enter your life needs to first enter your thoughts. If you have it in mind, and it doesn't matter what size it is, if you can have it in mind, it's a matter of understanding how it will come into reality. And at 9, there was no way he understood what he was doing. Today, he is very wealthy. Today, now he understands. Today, he will tell you process. He will tell you all the key elements. But at 9, he was just basically responding to I have a dream. This is my dream. And he says, people are not able to do those same things for the people that they love, not because they don't want to, but because it didn't enter their mind. So it's the same way you say, a pastor is raising an offering and says, we want people to contribute 50 million naira to build this particular project. If you are interested, come out. Now, reality is, I can argue the justification of some of those things, but the moment it enters somebody's mind, he doesn't have the money. He enters his mind and he says, you know what, I take up the challenge. There was somebody else sharing with me about someone who said that he had told himself that he was going to contribute $1 million to a project. And he went to meet the person and said, sir, I want to contribute $1 million to this project. And he didn't have $1 million. And he said in less than 2 months, he got a deal. That deal gave him exactly 366 million. He took out the 365 that was for the project. He had his $1 million balance on top of it and executed it. So it accidentally happens like that as well, where you imagine something, you imprint something, and then it makes you begin to operate and look, your eyes is open, you begin to see the opportunities, and then it becomes your reality. So I think what happens is there's a trigger point. The accidents are triggered by the thinking. So like you said, if you are thinking in a certain way, then you will operate in a certain way, and then you will have the results. So I think what happens for the accidental is that the accidental is triggered by those image formations, and then the other actions happen as a consequence.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions? Somebody said this, good. I can see Mr. Ogusi said, I started by accidentally following my late dad until I accidentally read books on financial literacy and intelligence and IQ. Awesome. Yeah. Happen like that as well. Whatever is going to enter one's life must also enter one's thoughts. Okay. Any other questions before we bring it to a close today? Any other questions? You can type your questions. You can ask your questions. The link for the training tracking is bit.ly/was-present, capital W, capital P. And the code for today is 10101. Okay. Okay, thank you. So any questions, somebody will type it in the window for you so that you can see it there. Any other questions before we wrap it up? I'm excited. You know what is exciting me? I'm excited because I'm seeing in the room 60 people that are going to be stupendously wealthy in the next 1 year. You know, I'm excited because I've seen 60 people in the room who will be, people will be asking you how, you know, and it's going to happen because we're going to think in a certain way. We're going to do things in a certain way. And all that value, we're going to put it into the work we're doing, and we're going to scale it from there into other things, and it just starts. It starts with a trigger. Okay, somebody said amen. Okay, so we'll continue again tomorrow at 2. But please, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget. Today at 6 p.m., Mrs. Bumi Omojoko, I think she's in the house today, is going to be leading us in the business opportunity presentation meeting. Please let us be there with our guests. Okay? Let us be there with our guests. If you are going to do things in a certain way and think in a certain way and imagine particular results, your action begins to tell it. Let our actions begin to tell it. So from those actions, let us begin to invite. Let's invite them and understand this. You are inviting them, 2 things will happen. You are inviting them to come and participate in a banquet that you are participating in. They will make money. You will make money as well. And guess what? Our whys, which we set yesterday, will be achieved. Okay, I think those are all the questions. I can stop recording.